This is a project that I am enjoying immensely. And as you can see, I got so carried away that I've already done that before I even started to make a video just in the evenings in front of the TV, having the bag of yarns next to me. This is my base, a yarn. It's a cotton yarn and 50-gram 100-meter, one that I normally work with, that I really enjoy to work with. And I've crocheted it with a 3.5 millimeter hook that it's a bit more loosely crocheted that I can work into it now with other yarns. And I've just done DCs, 47 DCs. So here you can use, you look maybe at your zippers that you have, and then you choose a background color. And then I looked at all my yarns with texture. Now, this is a yarn that I remember at the stage when I bought it, it was expensive. I still want to use it in scarves, but I still didn't get the inspiration of how I want to do it or other colors matching. So I've pinched a little piece of this. It's a thin yarn. It feels heavy, so I think there's enough still to then combine it with others for a scarf. Then this one is a yarn that I got as a present somewhere from somebody. I think it's meant to be knitting with, that you must knit with it, because for the crocheting it's really hard to see the loops. So I brought this one in. Then at some stage I've done some beads and necklaces where I've covered beads with yarn, sometimes even just with strips of chain stitches, and I've glued it on the beads. Look at this beautiful yarn. That's the only bit left that I've used now on the bead project, although I've now already used some of it now in these two sides. Then with this I've crocheted beanies some 2-3 years ago when I crocheted beanies for the whole family. So here I have this left over, and then I have also now this left over that also tones in quite lovely because it picks up a bit of the grey, although it tends to go to purple. This is just such a beautiful yarn. I bought it this year. I still want to make a scarf or video, but I couldn't resist to buy this. And then I've just pinched a piece that I can use it also to embroider on. And then I came across this now, actually, because I wanted, look how it tones in with that. It's just this little bit also left of projects that I actually want to bring in. But now my thinking was, what am I going to use now as just to the top, maybe before I start then to put in a zip. And this is the same family, same weight, and it tones in with all of these colors. So I think I need to bring just a bit more in of this into the bag, and then I can make a pattern at the top with this or with these two combined. I don't know. I still need to decide on that. It's always hard when you want to make a video on a project, but you still, as you carry on, I normally don't see the clear picture, but as I carry on, I realize how I want it to be. Then I want to show you this also. I normally don't struggle with uneven ends, but I have now started to crochet. When I crochet DCs, then when I turn, I normally have made, like here, it was the end of the row, I would turn and I make, let me just put this out of the way. I would turn, then I will make a chain stitch, and then I will do my first DC. But then I've now seen that one can just do this. I've seen it on a video. You just pull out this loop slightly, not too much, and then you immediately make a DC into the first DC. So you turn, you don't make a turning chain, and you immediately make a DC into the first DC after you've just lifted the loop slightly. And then you have these lovely, beautiful edges like that. Now, also, this doesn't worry me. I'm going to put on my glue gun, and then I'm just going to glue a little strip here to the side, and then I'll cut off the rest, because it's again a pocket that I will line. So I don't need to work in the ends at the back. Now let us look at what did I do here. I was just too carried away that I want to see now how it looks like if I make the back like that. Because my intention is to make now pockets where I combine fabric with crocheting. So I made this one first. Here you can see it's just blanket stitches. And here you can see the lovely textured one that I say. It's almost now disappearing here if you look at it from far. But I just so love the texture that it creates. Here is the lovely one that I've said that I made covered beads with. So I first just started with single strips, and then I thought, no, maybe I must just go, because I'm so used always to structure, then I must just go for a little block, or yeah, like just an whole area that I just actually go like that around the stitches, and then maybe go vertical also, and not just horizontal. It's a bit weird to get your brain now to do an informal thing if you're so used to I almost want to say crochet between the lines, like walking between lines. And then I couldn't find now a fabric that tones in with this. So I had now to make a reverse side, but I thought, no, I don't want to make the same. And when I started with this is the most easiest thing under the sun. And I've seen that it will probably not be enough for the whole row, so I'll start somewhere here, because here I can do something else at the sides. So now I just, there's the stitch at the yarn is also at the back, and you just lift it because I'm going to go with the slip stitches up to there. Then I put it through like that, and then I just lift it a bit because my next slip stitch must be there, that I just see that the loop is long enough that it does not pull in the crocheted part. And make the loop again a bit long that it reaches there where you want to go in. Go in. It's not such a problem if you don't skip stitches, but here I'm skipping some. There you can see. You don't even have to worry how the stitches lie, because it's just all about texture. And these wools just, or yarns, bring that texture. Good, and like that I've done this, all of these. Let us start. I'm going to use the wrong side of this chain stitches. So like that. I like this kind of texture that it has. It's hard to see the opening. You probably don't see the opening. There one can at least see the opening. Now I can cut the yarn. So I think up to there. I'll just glue this piece in place and then I can cut the yarn there. Because at least now the crochet hook keeps the opening open for me. There it is. Now one can remove all of these glue hairs at the end. I can cut the yarn here. It is now glued well in place there. Here maybe I must just put a little bit here. Although when you put a knot here, then you also can't see if the bead is a bit exposed there. All of these. Good. Now just to remove all of these glue hairs, let me just switch off the glue gun first. This is just a tag that I had that I thought would look quite lovely on this bag. So I'm just going to now sew it here to the back. So I've decided this is going to be the back. And then this is going to be the front because I like this kind of thing with that. So now let me just sew this on. You will see there are little holes, so I'll just going to sew this on. I've decided to first do a border of DCs. There you can see all around. It's just a neater surface than if I want to crochet the two together or if I want to hand stitch them together. So I'm now busy here at the bottom, going into each stitch just with a DC. Here you can see the front, here's the back, and now my go-to stitching, you can see here I've already started to just check if I like it before I now show you and then change my mind again, but I think I like it. So it's this kind of a shiny blue yarn. I've just slip stitch and chain stitch, and then I go now into the next two, just the inner two loops of the DCs, slip stitch and chain stitch. So again here, let me show you clearly, there are the two loops. I just take this inner loop. The same with this one, just that loop, and I slip stitch through them and I chain stitch into the next two. You can see slip stitch and chain stitch. That's an edging that I use on many occasions for my zipper pouches, and I like the edging. My aim is now to make a cord here that one can easily carry this pouch. Here is also a tab with a D-ring, and then it can clip here onto the D-ring that I will insert here. So now I've crocheted 1.5 meter lengths of chain stitches. I don't know if it's too long. Luckily at the end I can advise you how many you need to take. So then I've just now folded them in half, and I have just string it like this through this D-ring. Like that. The yarns are not all the same thickness. You can see there I've just kept the earthy tone one in the middle, although it will not matter at the end. And now I will just start to braid it the way that you would braid hair. Just like that. Keep it flat just. It will be easier if you attach that clip to something. I don't want to stretch it too much. Just like that. Keep it flat. Yes, I like it. It tones in now with the bag, and it's not so it's a bit more rough. That actually looks very good. Phew, I'm enjoying this. So let us, I think this is really one of my most enjoyable projects up to now. I'm going to stop it now. You know what to do, and I'm going to do it by myself. And then I will just show you the end when I attach it now, when I sort of bring it back, that you can see how it looks. It seems I did take too much, but I will tell you at the end. Before I pull it through, I just want this part here to come nearer to each other. I can even do this, just the outer parts, and just pull them in. So I'm going to see if it works. That means I'm going to knot them and then cut the knot, but I want them to pull in closer to each other. Yes, it's going to work. We take the needle out. Here they're closer to each other. Now I can cut this. I did do the braiding a bit longer than what is necessary. How am I going to get it through? Let me do this. Like the scissor to help me. There it goes. Now you need to test how long you want this to be. My hands are quite big, so I think I can still take it a bit further to the back. It's now quite thick here, but luckily it's wool. It looks now like this. Let me just now get this sorted. So I've cut a piece of yarn. Now I make a loop. Then I put this loop here at the back. You can see there's a loose end also here. Now I'm going to take the other end, this end, and now I'm going to start, and I still press down, but I'm going to start to make rounds and over that loop at the back. Let me just see, and I'm just going to work it now upwards, like that. I think a bit more. I'm pulling it really tight and have it there next to each other. Really tight. Luckily this yarn is quite strong. It seems it has the effect that I want. Now I put this through that loop, and now I need to do this and do it very tightly. This too, pull it tight at the back. So you can see that I still need to pull this a little bit to get that loop back away. Let me do this from this side. There it goes. Now I'm going to just work it in here that stitch cannot come loose, and just do something like that. Then I'm 100% sure it is secure, and then I'll do something with this side as well, and then I'm going to cut the excess. But it will definitely not come loose, because I have made it quite tight. There we have it, and let us see, and my hand goes through easily. I'm now starting with the final rounds. I've just used the extra yarn that I've cut off when I made this, and I'm using and then this little bit I've left over, so I'm going to use this now to make just 2 rounds, I would think, of just the extended DC. If you have never done the extended DC, it's the way that you make the normal DC, but then you will just now crochet first into it, and then you do that. So you yarn over twice. First like through the one and then through both. I'm going to now go all around with this, and then another round, and then I'll observe how it looks like, because the sides look like this after I've crocheted them together. I have the tab now here onto the D-ring, and now I'm just going to here machine stitch it, that it is stitched here too, and then I'll show you. It's now machine stitched. There you can see, and there I've stitched it, and now I can make the lining. I'm not going to make here a double lining, because with all of this yarn it is already quite sturdy. I'm just going to make a single lining, and I'll show you when I'm ready. Yeah, I've cut now the zip, and let me slide in the tabs and just pin them. I'm going to machine stitch from this side, and then the machine feeds it far more easily. Now I'm going to stitch here from tab to tab, because then when I open it and I now just steam it, this will be the inside that you will see when you open the pocket, and raw edges, if there are any showing, will be facing the crocheted part and you won't see it. This is when you do just one layer of lining. I've now steamed it. Now I need to top stitch here at the inside, just from there all along this line up to here. Because I have back stitch a little bit, so I stitch and then I back stitch a little bit, and then I can cut off these yarns short like that. This side also, so I've sewn machine stitch here up to the end, and then I've back stitched. I can cut the yarns. Now I do the other side in the same manner. So again, if I do this and I turn it, then it's going to look alike, the two sides. So I need to put it down like this. Now I'll just pin it in place, and I'll also now stitch this from there to there onto the other fabric. Now I'll have to do the same here. That means put it to this side, first iron it, then top stitch it again from there to there. I've now matched the seam lines, and I have something like this. You buy it in different colors. It's very cheap. It's like a chalk. You can see here, I've just here drawn the lines, that it must be just slightly smaller, that it's somewhere like here the lining can be slightly smaller than the purse. I'll see now after I've stitched on the lines, and then I can trim all the excess. This is now done. I've trimmed the excess, and now I'm ready to insert it into the crocheted pocket. So this is how it looks inside. Here the pocket is now inserted into the crocheted pocket. So I've made sure first that the slider is now here at the left hand side, where because this is the front of the pocket, and now I can open it. So just make sure that you have it the correct way. And now I'm going to clip it here in place, and then I'm going to sew it up here. And I'm going to just use normal thread that I use for the sewing machine, and I will just now start somewhere here, and then I'll just go the way that I normally sew it up. Many of you would have seen just somewhere here or even here. I like that, and go in, and I just make sure that I miss that. I just go through the zip here, through these ones, and I don't, the stitches don't show there. And when I pull it tight, small stitches, and when I pull it tight, the sewing thread will go in there into the fibers, and we will not see that it's sewn up. Here you can see that the lining is now sewn to the pocket, and one can't even see the sewing thread that I've used, and surely nothing at the inside. Now we just need to insert this. I have this strip of chain stitches. I've already threaded it here through the slider. Now I'm going first to make a knot here at the slider. You can always take a crochet hook or something and just move the knot that it's as near as possible there to the slider, like that. Good, there you can see. And now I want the one of these beads to hang higher than the other one, so I didn't make the lengths the same. So now I'm going to just make a knot somewhere here. I hope I didn't make it now too short, and I'm not going to pull that too tight. Now I'm going to put it here through the bead. It comes through. Bring it up. Now it's fine. There I've now pulled it a bit more tighter. There's enough here to make another knot here at the bottom. There we go. Must just make a knot, and this knot can actually go a bit more down. So don't make this one tight at the beginning. Then now you can bring it a bit more down once this knot is in place. There I have it. And I'm very pleased with the product. I was thinking of maybe make here slip stitches, but I've run out of this yarn and it's not going to look good. I've tried it with slip stitches with the base color, and no, I didn't like it. So this is it. This is now the completed pouch. So now when it's daylight, I'm going to take photos, and then I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you get inspired. It's really so lovely to play with textures and bits of leftover yarn, or sometimes even stealing a bit of yarn while you still have a project in mind to use it for, but it doesn't take much this side.